Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, enters Aries February 4th, 2025, spicing things up in our love lives or around art, beauty, romance, style, pleasure, attraction. Hello, my name is Eliane-Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about what it means that Venus is moving into Aries. But first, I want to say that if you are watching this on Instagram, I'm just going to post the first 3 minutes of the video here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane-Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane-Nicole. Please find me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. It helps me in the algorithm and to grow my channel and my community and my business, and puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you're watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane-Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. It's free for you and very helpful to me. And now, without further ado, I am going to talk about Venus, goddess of love and beauty, moving into the sign of the warrior, Aries. So Venus in Aries is considered in her detriment or in her exile. So it's not necessarily the sign that Venus enjoys being in the most. And that's because Aries is naturally ruled by Mars, who's the goddess of war. And whereas Venus is into things like love and beauty and art and pleasure, you know, Mars and Aries is into things like combat and you know, war and these types of things. So there's a little bit of an edge that's built into this transit of Venus in Aries. And so we might see that there's some spiciness, some fire, some conflict, you know, percolating around topics of love, art, beauty, romance, style, money, our values, as Venus is moving through the sign of Aries. And this year, Venus in Aries is really significant because it's the beginning of a storyline taking us all the way through June. And that is because Venus will be going retrograde in Aries, backing into Pisces, and then coming back through, you know, the last degrees of Pisces and the early degrees of Aries once again. So it's extending the entire stay of Venus in Aries, actually all the way through early June. And so in this video, I'm going to stick to talking about the first act, so to speak, which is taking us all the way to the end of February. And because the Venus retrograde period will start March 1st, and I will come back and do a separate video about that. In general, right now, I think it's just good to get to know what Venus in Aries is. And, you know, Venus in people is always going to be, you know, artists and lovers. It's going to be women, sisters, daughters, you know, Venus in Aries is women athletes, women warriors, women CEOs, women bosses and leaders, you know, women pioneers, women trailblazers. But it can also be men. Again, Venus, many men are born with Venus and Aries in their charts. You know, off the top of my head, I think about like Bob Marley, who was an artist, a man with Venus and Aries. So men with Venus and Aries may be attracted to, you know, women who have Aries-like qualities, independent, feisty, fiery women. but also in the case of when they're an artist like Bob Marley, he made a lot of very revolutionary, you know, kind of music about those topics of the revolution. So, you know, again, with any of these transits, there's always a spectrum. And when I do a video, I'm doing broad strokes. I can't ever hope to cover every different expression within the spectrum, but I like to try and touch on things so people see like just what is the general vibe of Venus and Aries. And it can bring up conflicts in love, conflicts in relationships, you know, battles. You know, love is a battlefield. Yeah. So in relationships, Venus and Aries, she goes for what she wants. She's a conqueror. She's direct. She's, you know, normally Venus and Aries is going to move very fast. But this particular Venus in Aries is slowing down because she's about to go retrograde. So I think that she may not be moving as quickly as she normally would. She may be holding back a little bit, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, because, you know, she will be going back over this same territory that she is traversing through in February. So Venus entered the pre-shadow of retrograde at 24 degrees Pisces, January 28th. So everything that is happening in the realm of art, beauty, style, love, romance, pleasure, our values, everything that's been going on from January 28th and goes until February 28th, we will be going back over in March. So you might want to take note of what is happening, because we will be revisiting these themes. And in general, I would say this patch of real estate from 24 degrees Pisces to 10 degrees Aries in your chart is a very significant patch of real estate of the year of 2025. There is something that the universe really wants us to pay attention to. The universe is really pulling focus to this area of our charts. And for everybody, depending on what your rising sign is, it's going to be bringing together different house topics. You know, this transit will be very personal to Aries, especially people who have planets, personal planets, sun, moon, rising, midheaven, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, anywhere from 0 to 10 degrees Aries. This is going to be a very personal transit to you, but also 0 to 10 degrees Libra or Cancer or Capricorn, because it'll be forming a square to people who have personal planets at 0 to 10 degrees Cancer or Capricorn. Also Taurus, it's going to be personal to you because Venus is your chart ruler. If you're a Taurus or Libra rising, Venus is your chart ruler. So this transit will also be very personal to you. If you don't know, I encourage you to contact me for a reading, because when we do a reading, we can work on it one-on-one. That's how astrology works best. And I can take you through your chart and see where this Venus transit will be moving. Because not only will Venus, when she goes retrograde, be moving back through, you know, the 0 to 10 degrees, or actually 24 degrees Pisces, 0 degrees Aries, all the way to 10 degrees Aries. But Mercury is going to have a retrograde in March that moves in these exact degrees, 24 Pisces to 10 degrees Aries. And then the eclipses are also moving through these, happening around these degrees. So there is a lot of attention that's being brought to this area of our chart. And more personal for some than others, but nevertheless, it's also going to be in the headlines, it's going to be happening for the collective. So we will all be affected or made aware of this in some way. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm not going to get too into it, but in people, again, for the collective, this is going to have to be doing with feminism, women's rights, women in war, women in battle, women athletes, women CEOs, women bosses, what else did I want to say? I don't know. Venus goes retrograde every 8 years. And so this will be bringing up some themes from 2017 spring for a lot of people. So you can think about what you were going through in that time around art, beauty, love, romance. Because we will be revisiting some of that through this Venus and Aries cycle. Venus and Aries brings up conquests in love, new beginnings in love. For some people, they'll be starting new relationships in this while Venus is in Aries. For people who are already in relationships or married, it may be a new start within that relationship. It may be rekindling flames. Sometimes Venus in Aries brings a lack of patience in love. Sometimes she brings impulsive decisions or taking risks or gambles around love. But not just love. Venus can also be, for some people, she brings a lot of people, it's love and romance, but for other people, it's art or beauty or style, or values. And so it all depends on your personal astrological coding, how it expresses for you. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to stop in and do an introduction to Venus and Aries. Oh, and also, as she enters Aries, she's immediately forming a sextile with Pluto, who is newly in Aquarius. And so there is an opportunity to completely transform these topics in our lives. So love or beauty or art or style, while Venus is traveling through Aries, because she's meeting with Pluto, god of the underworld. But they're forming a sextile, which is a harmonious alignment that's of the nature of Venus anyway. And so Venus and Pluto working together in a harmonious way gives us the opportunity to go deep in these topics of love or art or romance or style or beauty, and really transform in a beautiful way. But there's still an edge to it. There's an edge to the process. There might be something we have to fight for. We may have to fight for love, or fight for art, or fight for beauty, or, fight for justice. Venus and Aries really makes me think of, the line, no justice, no peace, And so while there's an opportunity to have what we want, there's an opportunity to conquer our desires, there is still this sense where we will have to go into the underworld to mine the jewel that we will ultimately receive. And so Venus is embarking upon a deep journey that's going to require a lot of courage and a lot of bravery. There's a sense that Venus is probably going to have to fight for something that she wants in this journey that's taking us. Well, part one, act one is February 4th to March 1st. And that's what I really wanted to talk about here is Act 1. So pay attention to what's unfolding for you in February around love and or art and or romance and or beauty and or style and or your values, what you value in life, you know, your pleasure, your attraction, because you will be going back over this in March and in April, and the eclipses will be coming around these topics, and Mercury will be having a retrograde around these topics. So this is an area of life where there's going to be a lot of focus in these next couple of months. And basically it's just getting started now. It's just ramping up now. And so with some self-awareness, because you're a person who follows astrology, you're ahead of the game. You have an opportunity to get in front of it. And so that gives you an edge in the battle of love or art or beauty that is approaching. You will have an edge over your opponents because you know astrology. People who don't know astrology may not see it coming. They can't get ahead of it as much. So consider yourself at an advantage in whatever is about to unfold. And so that's good. And if you would like to know more about how it's happening with your own personal astrology, definitely contact me for a reading. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. In Los Angeles, I do in-person readings, but I do charge a little bit more for in-person readings. And yeah, again, please make sure that you like and comment and share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you would like to thank me by buying me a coffee or a tea or a croissant, I will put a link in the description of my YouTube of how to make a donation. There will also be a link in the description of my YouTube to book a reading with me. I will also provide my email if you want to email me to get on the calendar. And yes, I look forward to reading for you, and thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy your feisty, spicy, conquistadora Venus in Aries season that is just beginning to unfold. Bye.